Did you know that 80% of photographers overlook these essential accessories that can take your photography to the next level? Some of these items you need and some just make your life a hell of a lot easier when you're out in the wild. So let's take a look right now. G'day friends and aspiring photographers. Today we're diving into the world of essential accessories for beginners in photography. These tools are not just add-ons. Some of these are game changers that can enhance your skills, boost your creativity, and take your photography to new heights. Many photographers, when they're starting out, can feel overwhelmed by equipment options. If you're anything like me, you can sometimes struggle with all the camera gear that's out there and is available. And because we all have limited budgets, it's hard to work out what to invest in. And sometimes it just comes down to not knowing the difference between something that you might actually want versus something you really need. Many new photographers find it hard to differentiate between essential accessories that can enhance their photography and unnecessary or gimmicky items that may or may not add much value to their work. And it's all very confusing. In this video, I'm going to take away all your doubt. I'm going to list 12 different accessories that every beginner photographer should at least consider. And what I will do, as I list them, I'll tell you if it's something you need versus something that makes your job a little bit easier. And none of these items are gimmicky in any way. And if you only have enough money to buy one of these items, I'll tell you what my favorite item is at the end of the video. The first on the list is a tripod. You actually need one of these. If you're doing real estate or landscape photography or studio work, you'll need a tripod. If you want to do long exposure photography, you just can't do this without one. This one from Manfrotto is lightweight but sturdy, extends up to a decent height, and even comes with a ball grip and a quick release plate. Next on the list is a camera strap. You need this as well. You can use the one that came with your camera, but they dig into your shoulder, which hurts after a while, and most of the time they're just too short. This one from Black Rapid centers the camera's weight across your body, which means you can use it for hours. Your camera connects via the screw mount on the bottom, and then you can slide the camera up and down the sling when you want to use it. Otherwise, it just hangs there ready and safe. It's my personal favorite strap, and when I'm traveling or hiking, I use this all the time. And the bonus of this one is it has really good padding in the shoulder as well. Next on the list is a belt clip. You don't need this if you have a camera strap, but it is very handy. This one from Peak Design can clip onto your camera strap. It can also hook onto your belt, so you can put your camera on your hip if you want. And where I like to use it is when you have one camera on your strap with one lens and you have another camera on your hip with another lens, so you can quickly switch between, say, a long zoom lens and a wide angle or a close-up lens by just picking which camera you want to use. But that's just me. I use both, but when you're starting out, you should pick one or the other. Next on the list is a card reader and storage, and this one you actually need. And this thing from PGY Tech is absolutely awesome. It holds a bunch of different cards. It's shockproof, water splash proof, but the best part is it clips onto your camera bag or belt or your earring or your nose ring, and it has a built-in card reader as well, which is why I like it the most. You just pull this little cable out and you've got a card reader too. Next up, sensor cleaning kit. This kit will save your life if you're camping or traveling or out in the elements. If you have to switch lenses out in wind or something like that, you may end up with dust on your sensor. And if you have no way of cleaning it, your trip can be ruined because you'll have all these little black dots all over your photos, which takes a long time to remove in post if you have to do it that way. Having this in your bag is a must, and they're cheap. Next on the list is a 50mm lens. This lens from Canon is often called a nifty 50. It's so cheap. I have two of these, one in my video bag and one in my photo bag. These things are so cheap, but you get great images and video out of them as well. This Canon one will shoot at f1.8, which will give you that amazing bokeh or blurry background. They are perfect all-round lenses for beginners, and keep in mind they are fixed lens, so not a zoom lens. So if you want to zoom in or zoom out, you have to physically move yourself in and out. Also, if you're starting out and you can only afford one other lens besides the one that came with your camera, then this would be the lens that I'd buy. Next up is a polarizer filter. You don't need this, but it will make your images look a lot better. What a polarizer does is it reduces the amount of light glare that hits your lens. This helps with reflections and haze that might be evident when shooting. Polarizers tend to boost color and contrast as well, and are great when shooting bodies of water or through car windows or glass, because they diffuse the reflection, enabling you to see more detail in your image. Like in this picture of a riverbed, you can see in one image you can see all the reflection of the water, and in the other image you can see everything that's under the surface of the water. Next up is a Small Rig Explorer folding screwdriver kit. That was a big mouthful, but this is essential. This tool has various different screwdrivers, and it's great to have in your camera bag for when things come loose when you're out traveling or whatever. And there is no knife, which I think is a bonus, because that means you don't have any problem with airport security when you're traveling in different countries. Number 9 on the list is photography gloves. You don't need these, but they are very handy. You see what I did there? Especially if you're in a cold climate for long periods of time shooting. They have a flip back index and a thumb cap, so you can answer your phone or change your camera settings or whatever you want to do. You don't have to worry about taking your gloves off. They're waterproof and they're really nice and warm. Alright, this one's a bit different. This is called a Condor Blue camera body cap. You don't need these either, as you can just use the plastic one that comes with your camera, but if you're traveling and you want to keep your camera body safe and secure and keep dust out of your camera insides, then this is very handy. They're made of aluminium. They don't just sit over the body area, they actually lock into place, and they are pretty much indestructible, and they also look really, really cool. Next on your list is backup power. I think you need this, and this is why. Not only will this device charge your phone or drone or camera batteries, but it will also jumpstart your car in the event of an emergency. They aren't that expensive, but every time I go on holiday, I'll just make sure it's in the bag somewhere. This one even has a torch. The bonus of these is if you're shooting, say, a short film and you're with a bunch of people in the middle of nowhere, everyone's using their car headlights for lighting, especially if you're shooting at night time. So you can almost guarantee that someone's going to have a flat battery, and this one will get you out of trouble. I absolutely love this next one. It's called a diffusion filter, and this is not essential, but I do love it. This is a diffusion filter from Cinebloom. This filter will make your videos or photos more cinematic. They have a lovely red aluminium ring that's very easy to grip, and they look awesome. They come in a 5%, 10% or 20% diffusion. I personally think the 10% one is the best because that's my favorite. But what it does is it reduces the hard edges in your photos and will add a slight haze to them as well. And you'll notice this mostly at night time when you're shooting, because street lights and car lights will have this sort of nice cinematic haze around them. And it's great for video too. Well, as promised, I'm going to tell you what my favorite item is on the list. Drum roll, please. Who am I talking to? There's nobody here. The winner is the PG White Tech card reader and storage device. It holds all the cards you need and is a card reader as well, which is what I like most about it. But most importantly, it will protect your cards, which I think is essential. Especially if you're traveling, you'll have your whole trip on these cards, and some of these memories you just can't get back or replace or reshoot. That's why this was my pick out of all of them. But it's not always about gear when it comes to getting great photos. It's mostly about knowing what to do and learning some tips and tricks. And luckily I have a video right here on that very subject. So give that a click and I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching.